Hey guys, my name's Sam. Welcome to PrepMedic. I've never been a huge fan of the March belt setup. I've never been able to make it work for me. But considering that I have just about all of the contents of a small aid bag in the Blue Tide Innovations medical fanny pack and attached bleeder pouches, I'm starting to change my mind a little bit. All right, so this is simultaneously a review of these pouches that you see in front of me, the Blue Tide Innovations medical fanny pack and two of their bleeder pouches, as well as a walkthrough of a March belt setup that I'm starting to think about actually using. Now, like I said in the intro, I have not used March belts in the past. I just haven't been able to make them work super well for me. I haven't been able to integrate them in my gear, but I started packing this one out in particular. And I found one, it was really easy to figure out where things go. And number two, I was able to put way more in this format than I thought possible. The contents of this make up a small aid bag, and you'll see that as we start going through this kit. So without further ado, let's go through the kit. So like I said, I have these three products set up as a March belt. Now I bought these myself. I talked to the company, they gave me a 20% discount code on it, but I bought these because honestly, I think they're cool. They're a small business, and it's kind of fun to support people that are doing cool things for this industry. So on the right, I've got a bleeder pouch. On the left, I've got a bleeder pouch, and those are attached directly onto the wings of the medical fanny pack that they create. The fabric right here is a combination of fabrics. It is water resistant, not waterproof, because there are some gaps in the zippers, but the zippers are weather sealed. The fabric itself is water resistant. You could get soaked in a rainstorm and your contents are going to stay dry. So I think this is a great middle ground for durability. Now, as far as price goes, pretty reasonable. 10 years ago, probably not reasonable, but now where we're at with pricing on things, especially medical items, this is great. This right now is going for about $150, and then the bleeder pouches are going for about $60 to $70 each. They are attached by Molly on the back right here, and you can see the less Molly stripping here, a little bit more here, but they sit very solidly. They do not walk around at all. Very subtle. Right on the front of all of these, you have a strip of Velcro. Now, I bought these a little while ago. I think the new fanny pack right here has a full swath of Velcro going across the front. These obviously have identification areas if you do want to say what they are or just put on personal identification. I couldn't find one of these that had like information. I really wanted to just advertise online, so I taped it up. Now, on the bottom of the medical fanny, I've secured a cat tourniquet, and that goes through a bungee system I have. You can just pull it off, but I don't want to get snapped by the bungees right now. So this thing right here, you can rig basically anything you want to it, whether that's a tourniquet, whether that's even like a litter or something like that. So tourniquet on the bottom, and right here, this probably isn't how I'll have it like long term, but I put a tourniquet pouch on this side, and you could do the same here. If you laid this out flat, it does scrunch that tourniquet pouch because there's not quite enough room between the two. But since it's kind of conforming to your body when you're using this in real life, it's not an issue, and you can get to this tourniquet just fine. So you could do one tourniquet here, one tourniquet here. You could even have a third on the bottom, and then nothing's actually inside the pack. This pouch right here is an old pouch from NAR Rescue. I just threw it on to kind of demonstrate how that works. And you'll see I pulled this tool out. This is a rescue tool from Winkler Knives. Actually, I've had it forever, and this thing's pretty thick. It's not a small tool, and it can fit right on the back. Now, I like having a prying tool on me. This is also designed to shut off gas, and then it can be used as a window breaker as well. So a lot of different uses for this particular tool. It's nice to have on me. I'm not convinced I'm going to keep it on the belt or not, but it is nice to have some kind of on-body carry option for that. Now, on the other side, I just secured some trauma shears. There's not a ton of places to put them. You can put them on the bottom here, bungee them just like I did. If you don't want to carry a tourniquet, you could do tourniquet here, trauma shears on the bottom if you do want to carry them. And I just secured these with a bungee loop. All you have to do is pull that off, and the shears come right off with just the bungee piece still attached. So nice to have something just externally really easily accessible to get people out of their clothes. And then you can see kind of where that went. You've got that full strip of Molly that's available that you could put pretty much anything you want on it. One thing I will say about these bleeder pouches is the Molly straps are right in the middle. I wish it had 4 and we could just tuck the ones we weren't using in, because that would allow you to actually take this a little bit farther out on the belt if you wanted, or kind of wedge it a little bit closer, get it a little bit more secure. That's a me thing. It's going to drive up the price a little bit, so I don't think it's a big deal one way or the other. These are really good bleeder pouches, and I really like them for many different reasons. Starting on the inside, let's go to the medical fanny first. Kind of a weird way to do it. So opening this up, you can see these are weather-resistant zippers, really high quality, don't snag on anything. And when you open it up, I have my main bleeding supplies in here, the main things you're gonna need to stop massive hemorrhage besides the tourniquets. So in here, I've got the 2 things of Quick Clot and 2 pieces of packing gauze. So already I've got enough supplies in here to most likely treat multiple casualties. So I've got 2 of these. Now, if somebody's wondering what the difference between Quick Clot Combat Gauze is and Quick Clot Combat Gauze is, it's the color. They felt like this was a little bit too aggressive for police officers, so they make one that's a little bit less aggressive. There's no difference between these 2 products when you buy them in the store new at this point. Now, 2 things of packing gauze. Again, these are very similar items. Good for wound packing, junctional sites, obviously something you need to have on you. We have space blankets right here. The NAR space blankets are really good. Now in my main pack, I've got a full hypothermia kit, but this is really good for that quick, warming measures while you're there. You can pair it with some hand warmers even if you want to kind of take it to that next level, but that's not going to correct massive hypothermia in a traumatic state. Now you'll see on here, I've got 2 different ways things can be, well, I guess 3 different ways things can be secured in this pouch. In the front lid, you just have 3 of these large elastic loops, and they're purpose-built for like emergency trauma dressings and packing gauze. You don't have to customize it. Blue Tide Innovations knows that you're not going to be carrying like these really weird things in here most likely. This is mainly for a medical belt. So this is where this stuff is intended to go. It's not customizable at all. Obviously, if you don't want to use stuff on the lid, you just want to use the customized panel, which we'll talk about in a second. These are just going to fold up flat and you're not even going to know they're there. If you really want to get them out of the way, obviously they're elastic, you can cut them out. But I've got a unrolled ace bandage. Ace bandages are nice because I've had a lot of like officers come up to me. They're like, oh man, like I rolled my ankle. I've got a torn meniscus. I'd just like a little bit more stability in my knee. Can you wrap my knee really quick? And it's nice to have an ace bandage. And then obviously they're really good trauma dressings as well. Versatile and easy to use. And doesn't really have to be in packaging. This is going to speed you up a little bit. Right here, I've got an ETD. This is emergency trauma dressing by North American Rescue. This is the 4-inch version. I think probably their 6-inch version would fit in this lid just fine. And right here, you can see a little bit better those 3 loops I was talking about. Now, what makes this special, but also something that's becoming much more common in like IFAC bags in general, is this customizable panel, and everybody does it just a little differently. So when you get any of these kits, it's going to come with a roll of this stuff here, which this is a hook and loop strap, and you just cut it to whatever length you want. And that's going to go in these little slits right here. You can customize the shape and the size to hold anything you want. Obviously, right here, I had it shaped really well to just fit your 2 things of gauze. Now, it's not elastic, so it's not going to conform to your stuff. It's not going to hold it really tight, but it is really good for a number of different use cases. That is one of them. The other thing it's going to come with is some bungee cords, some shock cords, if you want to be cool. But right here, this is the one it came with. Any shock cord is going to work in here pretty much as long as you don't get a gauge that's too big for the holes. And you have the holes up and down. This will allow you to have something that kind of stretches in and out. So if you have like 2 of something, you can put them in there, you take one out, and it's going to conform to the second thing. It's not going to start falling out. Retention is super important in medical kits. I've seen too many people open up their kits and everything falls on the floor and then it's useless. You're already stressed and you're trying to get stuff. It's just not a good look. In this, I just tied the ends right here. You can tie the ends of it, or you can get the clips that I have in other parts of this kit to secure them. One thing I'll say with this is that it's very easy to thread all of these things. I wish these holes were a little bit closer together because it would be nice to bring 2 together and then either tie them or use a clip instead of having them so spread out when you get to 2 separate ends. and needing to join them together. It just makes it so it's a little bit sloppier when you're designing it. That being said, I didn't have any issues with this whatsoever. It is not the best panel I've ever done, but it is far from the worst. I'd say the top 2/3 easily as far as customizable panels go. I've got some medical tape here, tons of uses for medical tape, and then I have a cravat / burn dressing from North American Rescue. These things are super versatile. Pick you up some. They're not that expensive. You can throw them in pretty much any kit you want. So this on the back here, you've got a loop field you could put stuff in if you want. I don't really have a need to throw anything on the loop in the back, and this panel is mounted in. You just have that top access right there pretty easily. Now in the front of this, once again, a really nice pocket. I just have some PPE and like a dime bag. It looks kind of weird. I'm just gonna throw some more gloves in there. This is just what I had laying around, so I threw it in there. Nice to have that, just easily accessible. You can throw them on without much thought. So looking at these 2 bleeder pouches, and this is where I think this kind of gets unique. You know, this right here, it's unique, but the contents that I've decided to put in there, I think, are pretty standard. These bleeder pouches bring a lot of versatility to this fanny pack. If you're gonna rock the fanny pack, you may as well throw some bleeder pouches on it, is my opinion. So in this one, I just have one item, essentially. I have a BVM, a bag valve mask. This is one of those reasons why I wasn't going to a March belt, because I felt like, well, okay, if I have stuff to do a crike, if I have stuff to, you know, establish these advanced airways, but I don't have a way to breathe for the patient, like it's kind of useless for me. I'm still gonna have my pack. I may as well just offload my body, have my pack. The ability to throw an entire BVM, micro BVM's largest one, I might add, with the reservoir right here, it kind of changes the game. It means I can carry this and actually feel good about doing it, because I can intervene on somebody that isn't breathing and actually breathe for them right here. So this is the pocket BVM. I still have it in the plastic case. A lot of people would probably opt for just pulling it out of this case and throwing it directly in here. It would probably just save a little bit. And then if you got their smaller version without the reservoir bag, it's gonna be even thinner and it's gonna fit really, really well. So BVM in here. Now I started to do something, which I'm gonna talk about in this one, that I think is clever, if I can pat myself on the back, or maybe it's them, maybe they thought of it, but either way, I think it works really well. So in this one right here, I got a lot of stuff going on. And again, this is one of the things that started to change my mind about how this was all set up. So that idea I was just talking about. So right here, I've got all the stuff you need to start an IV. But like I said before, you don't really want things just kind of willy-nilly in the pouch. So what I did is I took one of their Velcro straps, wrapped it around here with the hook facing out, and then I took another one of their Velcro straps with the loop facing out and looped it through those 2 holes. I can take this right here and it just sits right on top of that. It's not going anywhere, it can't fall out, it's Velcroed in, and I can rip it out pretty easily and still use this as like a standalone IV star kit. So kind of I think a neat way to secure stuff in this pouch. Now right next to it, I've got some meds. You know, these shock cord panels lend themselves to medication storage pretty well. So I threw in a amp of calcium and some TXA, because they're the most common meds we're going to be given in like massive bleeding scenarios. Obviously, you know, pain management is probably a little bit bigger, but that's not something that's a life threat. I don't feel the need to have that on my belt. I can carry that in my other kit. Now on this side, I've got all of my airway stuff. So we've got our vascular access here. You could probably fit a 100 bag back here if you really wanted to. There is some space behind this guy, but it just felt a little bit too, well, gonna need a new TXA now. It just felt a little bit too crowded. Now down here, I've got all of my airway stuff. So pulse oximeter, you could easily fit an EMA capno device in here. I've got a pre-lubed NPA scalpel right here. These aren't quite tall enough to just put these straight up and down. They are tall enough, but it just kind of bulges out the top. I didn't like it too much. So scalpel right there, that's going to be good for our finger thoracostomies as well as our cricothyrotomies. I have a pair of curved Kellys. Again, I'm going to use these for mainly a finger thoracostomy. And then on either side, I've got 2 ARS needles. I have a 10 cc syringe that can be used for drawing up the TXA or filling the cuff on the cric. Right here, I've got the NAR cricothyrotomy kit. This is my favorite cric kit. It's a preloaded short bougie on a cric tube. Right here, it's very simple. There's not a lot of stuff to learn with it. So I like the scalpel finger bougie technique when it comes to crics, and that's what I practice on. That's how I'm going to use this. So I keep that right in the top flap, and we've got a number of hyphen vented chest seals. These are the compact version. I put these in pretty much all my kits. They take up almost no room. So it is kind of nice to store some of the stuff right in back here. Now, a couple things that this is still missing. If you had a couple more pouches, you know, having a stethoscope, having some diagnostic equipment, not a bad idea, but you can go a long ways with a pulse oximeter and just like clinical signs looking at your patient. You know, all in all, I really like these bleeder pouches because it has the two sides of the customizable pouches that you can either choose to do the bungee cords or you can do the straps over it. It just adds a lot of versatility to your kit. And again, it's really easy to do. This isn't dogging on them. They've improved them 1,000% since then. But when I first got my hands on the Matt Bach Grave Robber, like their first generation organizational panels on here were the worst. They were awesome. Like once you got them done, they held things great. They were super secure, really clean, really lightweight. But like actually like feeding stuff through with pliers and hemostats was so hard. And really, Matt Bach improved them. They're fine now. But they've really come a long ways to these panels where it's very easy. You don't even need pliers to feed stuff. And this took me, I woke up pretty early in the morning, got this all organized in maybe 20 minutes, which is pretty good. The first time I set one of these bags up, it probably took me, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours to do. So needless to say, progress going. The materials are innovative in here. They're going to keep your stuff dry. This is, my understanding is this is PrepMedic out in Florida that does these. So, you know, Florida weather, I'm sure he's designing that with a lot of that in mind. And actually we saw one of the recovery specialists, I'm not entirely sure what their MOS was during the Artemis launch not too long ago, rocking one of these on his March belt. Just a couple other little things to talk about before we wrap this video up. The buckle right here is set to go on the side, so it's not going to go right in front of you, which is pretty nice. In my opinion, the buckle is high quality. It's not like a Raptor buckle or anything like that, but it's not going anywhere. And then it has multiple sizing options and stays, so you don't have all of these straps just kind of flopping every which way. The fanny pack is obviously usable on its own, or you can take these bleeders and you can mount them on a vest or something else, and they're going to work very well for you. So all in all, I'm strongly considering at least trying a March belt setup and then maybe going to and actually making a bag like the Spirit of Systems Delta bag work, because I just don't need quite as much in there. Time will tell. Obviously, I'm always switching things up, but this is a solid buy. You know, if you're in the market for a March belt, there are some much more expensive options out there with about the same capabilities. This thing kind of splits right down the middle of something that's innovative, that's working really well, but also something that's not going to, you know, break the bank, and you can feel good supporting a small company. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you next week.